Shamin Rolia FIE's Junkanu Rush. Feel it in your belly, along with my co-host, Mr. Paparazzi, and my producer, Miss Brighton Roll. And folks, our special guest for tonight, as you can see, is none other than Mr. Quentin. I call him Robbie, my big cousin, Woodside. We're going to ask Quentin to introduce himself in just a few minutes. First off, we're going to ask, Papa, do we have any Junkanu news this week? I know in the Junkanu world, I think I got a notice that they're going to be burying Slimy, I think on Thursday. Did you get any other notices, Papa?
No. I know there's a second person from the Saxons who passed away, but I don't have his name at the tip of my tongue right now. And I'm not sure when the band started. This Thursday or next week Thursday. I think it's like the first week in October or something like that. It's a while back, way off.
Right.
But I have no confirmation of that either. Someone could let us know exactly when Dr. Slimy Thompson will be interned, and also the name of the other gentleman that passed away from the Saxons. I think it was Sucker 2. I don't want to try guess the name. Anyway, I can look it up. Yeah.
Checking right now because I got some information earlier. This week. Let me check real quick. Because a few persons was asking me about Slimy's funeral and when it would be. Mm-hmm. Also, today, folks, I at 6 o'clock today I was in South Beach and I was invited by the Zion South Beach COVID stoppers. They call themselves. It's a little Junkanu group. They say they keeping Junkanu alive. So I was there at 6. Last week I posted some information about them. They say last week, Papa, they saying last week was their Boxing Day. Was their Boxing Day rush. So they invited me back and said that this week, which was the day, was their New Year's rush. And so we did lap 1, and then they take a little break. They would say that was the Bay Street rush, and then they do another lap. And then they was getting ready to do the Shirley Street lap. And then when we was coming back around for Bay again, we had some little traffic congestion, so we had to cut that short. But I see here Dr. Philip Slimy Thompson will be funeralized on Thursday, October the 1st.
October, yeah. So that's like next 2 weeks. 1
p.m. at St. Agnes Anglican Church, Blue Hill Road.
Yeah. The name I was looking for was Anthony Stickertone Johnson.
Okay, yes. I think also from the Saxons, eh?
Yeah, he's also from the Saxons. And then from the Valley Boys, we have Larry Ramming from Economy Bus Line Rammings. Valley Boy, he passed away, I think it was Monday morning or Sunday night. So condolences to everybody, and your prayers are always with you during this painful time. And that's basically it for the those who passed away, or announcements from my side.
Let's get straight to it, folks. Just to update you, we will continue with our Legends of Our Time. In December, we have already reached our marks for the first season of it. So the season will continue. Season 2 will continue in December, but we'll be updating you when we get a little closer to that, because we have some special things we want to do for that. So now let's get straight into the conversation. I have here with me Mr. Quentin Barabus Woodside. Robbie,
hey,
how you get that nickname?
Boy, I was in the hotel field. I work with many waiters. I was a busboy, and I work with Cleveland Hairboyne, who was my waiter, and Charlie. He now works with the bishop. And one morning, we had so many guests in the hotel, and I like lightning. I want to wake with everybody, every waiter, to take my little something home to mama. So Cleveland came out the kitchen with all his food to serve the guests, and I wasn't at my station, and all he said, "Give me Barabbas." When he shouted that name, "Give me Barabbas," he said, "Charlie." So Charlie shouted from across his station, "Yeah, um, sorry, the late Junior Ferguson. The late Junior Ferguson say, "Man, you look like a Barabbas for true." And the late Miss Emmeline Clark, she said, "Boy, don't let them call you that name." She was a Christian. Say, "Boy, don't let them call you that name." Then me, I just laughing, grinning, ain't worrying, ain't checking. And went on the government ground playing ball. It was very good. You couldn't hit the ball out, no way out in left field, center field. I getting it. You have to hit it deep. Christopher Pratt used to hit him, and Eddie Ford them used to hit him in the bakery. That's the only way you could hit the ball out the park. Because if you come anywhere close to the fence, I jumping on the fence and I getting it. So the name Barabbas is spread through softball, basketball, hotel field. And matter of fact, that year I was so good in the hotel field, I won Employee of the Year. The first year they give Employee of the Year. So it just stuck on me. And I will always remember Father Nixon right here where I'm sitting. He will bring the young children from church down here during the summer camp. That's in Francis Church. And he say, so one child say, why a good man like you name that? Father Nixon said, you all realize that's a great name. That man was a gentleman who fights for his people. So I say, wow. And a lot of tourists came through and they give me different views on Barabbas. So today, I think I doing the same thing Barabbas did back then. Look out for his people, give God thanks, and thank God they didn't execute Barabbas because it wouldn't have been me here today as Barabbas.
All
So
right. So
give me
give us
Barabbas.
your
See,
history.
Jesus died for us, but if they do it to me, I wouldn't have been here today, or that name wouldn't have been here today.
I hear that. Give us a little bit about your background of yourself, how you got involved in junking.
All right, well, first of all, I want to thank you for inviting me to the show. Paparazzi, I love you guys. What y'all doing? Man, listen, hats off to y'all. I wouldn't miss it for nothing. Y'all keeping our culture alive. Y'all doing what many people should be doing, who have the money, who have the power to do, not doing. So Shamin, Paparazzi, your whole team, Mr. Brenton Boo Roll, who's tying up with me in another couple of months to give this country great surprise and bring smiles to people's faces and family homes, because you know we all hurting at this time. This COVID is not easy. So what Mr. Brenton Brewer and his FIE is going to do, along with so many other partners, you know we always light up Junk in the World. So we bring in Bay Street, the Junk in the World, like you hear the little children in South Beach. I'm glad to hear that's happening. That happened today. Listen, man, we need to put smiles on people's face. We can't do it alone. We need everyone to help. Every business, every person who have a junk in the heart, the pitch in and help us to put this place like Disney World, light up your world. We need to do some work for God, because it's the devil is just waking. This COVID, it's the devil, trust me. So we need some God people to step up to fight against this, so we could do some great things, put some smiles on people's faces. You know, they losing homes, they losing the current, they losing, the children can't go to school. They don't, you know, there's so much hurtful things that's happening this time. So what we can do together, Charmaine, and what we gonna do together, along with, I'm gonna reach out to all the Tones them and Mr. Miller them, who are the other junk in the shops, and we gonna put some smiles on people's faces for this Christmas. It can be one like no other. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't speak with Boo. He's on board. So actually, I'm behind him, because he said, bro, you know that's my cousin. You all be great man, think alike. He said, bro, I'm in. So guess what? Since he in, I'm going to let him run with the baton, and I'm in the back of him. We're going to have a great Christmas, God spare our life, for the Bahamian people. And we lost some great giants, Larry, Sticky, Slimy. I had the opportunity to work with them all. There's some great guys we miss in our Junkanoo community. So my condolences goes off to them and their family. Even my stepson, Bernard Sherman, his mom, he just rested his mom, laid his mom to rest a couple of days ago. I didn't have the chance to go to the funeral, but you know, he know my heart there. My boys, some of my stepson went there. And, you know, we need to support one another in these times. We need to support one another in these times.
Yeah. Okay, Robbie, tell us a little bit about yourself, your family life, how you got started in Junkanoo.
All right, well, Charmaine, we come from a deep family background. Mr. Vincent Rowe, your dad. Um, you got Dick Dowell, Leslie, Dwight Trotman. You have many, many years. Well, my grandmother, she lived on Blue Hill Road, right there, with Dick Dowell and Leslie and Chucky, all of those guys. They had a big shack in our yard. And Mr. John, the late John Chippy Chipman, his house was right on the side of my grandmother's house. And Chippy had a group. As a little boy, we would watch Chippy and Dick Dowell, those Bill Costom and Pace. So that's how me and my late Steve Floater, my brother who passed, that's how we got involved by cleaning up the shack and cleaning up the yard and watching Dowell, those Pace them lead Costom and trying to beat Kenny Mary, the late Kenny Mary and Fro and the late Frazier. These are great guys in Junkanoo. And watching Dick Dowell trying to beat those guys, it wasn't easy for him to bring home best costume every so often. Because those guys back then was real tough. The music makers had some real great guys. It's hard to beat them. And then the Wally Boys had some great guys, like I say, the late Frazier, those was hard to beat those guys back in the day. So my little brother, my big brother, and I would have went and getting the Dowell those way. And they want to win best costume, so they running you out the shack, go to bed, so they running you. So what we would have done was to clean the shack and start to paste on little cardboards and so forth. And when they see we were doing a great job, put us in the back of the costume. So that we had to go in the back of the costume. So what my brother, and he always running me, oh, go home. You don't want, we live in Farrington Road in you. But now our grandmother live in Blue Hill Road. But now we have to go to Peter Street we have to go to Peter Street, we have to go to Gay Shack, we have to go to Kenny Mary Shack, we have to go to Buckaroo Shack, we have to go to Lob Shack and peep in through the hole. So the only way we was allowed to get in those shacks back then because of Dick Dowell, who had a big costume. And back then it was secretive. And you couldn't go in those shacks. So during that time, we would go through the corner by the music maker, peek in their little hole and get run here by the White King Shack and peek in them, see what they doing. And these guys in the White Kings, they would build costumes different back in the day. They would build costumes with the chicken coop wire and sisal. So they were really creative. You have King Tuck those and Bubba those. They were great, man. We have so many great talents here. So getting a piece from all of them, and then my cousin died many years ago, the late Paul, and then Brad Oden. When Brad Oden and I schooled together, I'm a baby, and then Brad taught me how to make drum and Paul. He taught me how to make drum right in the yard by mother, by Aunt Nay. We would make drum by Miss Enid, our other cousin Jeffrey and Larry. We would make drum in their yard. So it was so interesting, and growing up with so many different avenues I had at my exposure right in my hand. And I just took advantage of the situation. And then one day I said, I want to be like Dick Dowell. I want to be like a Kenny Mary. I want to be a Fro. I want to be like a Frazier. And the Independent Parade, you remember when we had the parade on Fort Charlotte? Independent Parade. And Gay built my costume. I had Blue Marlin. And I went heads up, and me, Tom, Jolly, and we won best costume. It was 3 times Saxons as a little boy. And I got a taste of greatness. And ever since then, they had trouble with me with costuming.
Well, I know from that side of the family, I know you was the Saxons. And then on the Enia side, with Uncle John and the rest of them, Uncle John them was Wally. And so we used to have that little rivalry. One side of the family was Saxons as well. Well, there's only two groups. One was Saxon and one was Wally back then. And then the music makers, with Pepsi Cola and all of that. But talk about when you broke off from Saxon.
Okay, by you saying with Kenny, uncle, your uncle Kenny, you know, he was a big jungle too, and right there with by your granddaddy Johnny Moon, we had a little down there. I was stopped there coming from the boys brigade because you know with the boys brigade right across the road there, with Mr. Penn, the late Mr. Penn. You all had a little shack right there. Always Mr. Moon, cuz we would stop there, but you know. Uh, back in those days, I was working at the hotel. You had Brenville, Tyrone, my maitre d', the late Junior Ferguson. That's the Colbert brothers. They were big Wally boys. And then you had my late maitre d', Mr. Junior Ferguson. And we used to play a lot of sports. So my maitre d' is Wally. Brenville then was Wally. The late Mr. Whip. He used to ride cycle, the great Mr. Alec Harris. He was a chef. So all of them was Wally. And during the hotel, you know, if the chef would show plenty food at you, you could make some good money. So the Wally boys had low tobacco back then in that days, rock. So they convinced me to try and come with the Wally, come with the Wally, come with the Wally. After winning best costume, I carried the Blue Heron, the late Mr. Jackson Burnside and his brother. Then we had Percy Willa Francis right here in the yard. They built my costume, the Blue Heron. And that year, they went downtown and didn't pick up my costume from Farrington Road. So I had to go right around the corner by Mr. Bean, the late Mr. Bean, to carry my costume on a little truck down. Saxon's son gone, my costume completed. New Year's come, we had a costume here for the group again. They went again and they left me, crying like a baby, saying they don't need no more. I crying, Shammy, I crying like a baby. I want to fight everybody. You know, costume
Yes.
done finish. I want to fight everybody downtown in the Saxon. Where Walla? Where this? They left me. So I look at my boys, my team, Cass and George and all the hell of them. I say, Gangi. I say, buddy, I ain't doing this no more. These fellas don't appreciate us. So I went to work. My mate Judy say, tell you come with the Wally. I'll give you more days off when you're playing softball with pay. Then playing basketball. Boy, they were good days. It was some beautiful days in hotel. And I hear that with pay, you could play basketball and pace costume and you still get a little pay. You could play softball and costume and get pay. You could travel, pace, and get pay. I say, boy, ain't God good. So I was traveling a lot back then with tourism and Chippy and Mr. Ronald Sims and the Wally boys. I was traveling a lot, all over the world. I say, you know what? Wally boys, here I come. And Mr. Gus Cooper did love that. And when I went with the Wally, Gus Cooper, listen, where you get this coloring from? How could you put a woman lime green? And that was Lizzie Carey Basket Head. I always remember that. I get beat that morning. That costume was
photo of that particular.
Lizzie Carey Basket on head. I get beat.
Oh no.
Yeah, I do. I can send that to you later.
All right.
And JJ, everybody knows JJ from the Saxons.
Right.
JJ. I sat down on Bay Street and JJ said, you know what? Close. I tell you, you'll never beat us no more. Talk to you know when you leave a group, they talk to you bad. And JJ and his whole team with Thompson Lane and them boy, because I let them leave the Saxons now. They talk to me so bad. And they scorn me in the road. I sitting down, laying down after the bread. Mother sick, we get beat. Mother sick. And they talk to me so bad. All I could do was hide my heart and tell them I'll be back. Like on Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. Come back, get beaten again. I go and carry one little rocket, thinking that was awesome. Get beaten with that. That's on New Year's morning. Get beaten again. They talk to me like a dog. Ah, boy. Gus, Phil, come back. Away in the manger.
Christmas Story.
Just keep adding. I say, add, sir. Add. Away in the manger. Add. That's it. Best costume. Blow them out the water. Come back to the Dragon New Year. Best
Which
costume.
parade that was for us? The Christmas Story. That's Christmas.
Honestly, that's gonna be hard for me to tell you accurate. But I won 3 in a row, and I beat up on Sammy with the little hard mouth. Him and we had Sammy was awesome. Him and all the Johnny and them. And this year, that money started to flow. We betting against one another. Right there in Chico's, we used to bet hard, and I beat them like mad. I buy one car off them one year. I buy the little blue bird off them. It's a Toyota, sorry. Buy a second-hand Toyota off them. Because we used to gamble hard back then. You all hear about gambling in Junkanoo? Back then, that's what we used to. You go to Chico's, you put your money in the envelope, and you tell them, now who win? Go to Chico's and pick up your envelope. That's how we used to do it back then. So if I get beat, it ain't no use to me going to Chico's to get them. Whoever beat you that morning will go to Chico's and pick up the envelope. And that's how we used to do it back then. And then we would go to the post office and try and work hard to do our finish. And then Gus sent me, say, you know what? I need you to come into the shop, audio yard, so you could teach these young men coming. And brother, I got one brother named Ronald Woodside, George. Trust me. Only one man I see, Frazier. Let me show you something. And this is how serious we were back then. Frazier couldn't finish his costume 1 year. The big Frazier. George gone and find Frazier. While we pasting our costume, George went and find Frazier and helped Frazier to finish his costume. And that's how we did it back then in those days. We would help one another. We don't see one another again. And hats off to him, because it wasn't for George and Gangi and Cass and Alec, because Alec had to be the strongest man to carry the costume around Bay Street. Mind you, I didn't always have the best costume. I had the best finish. Because if you couldn't carry the costume and make your 2 laps, you can't be judged. And when Jim Brown used to come to Bay Street, and I look at Jim Brown with this nice clean finish and nice artwork, and Scrappy-Doo, Eric with their nice clean finish, and then Saxons had some beautiful costume to make it some beautiful costume. But when they can't cross the line, I say, all right, it's easier for me to win best costume. And that's how I edge out a lot of them back in the day. So I gotta let people know we have a lot of great guys out there, carry great costume, but the costume wasn't balanced. And to let the country know, the best man back then to balance costume, because we didn't have no wigs. When you see Big Curly Clyde running from under costume, right? Everybody in the world knows the Bahamian sensation. He used to wrestle Bahamian sensation. He couldn't carry costume and then had to carry it. So you have to have at least about 15 guys team up to carry this costume. And back then, Mr. Doyle Burris, he will engineer those costumes. Very great in physics, very great in balancing them big costumes. And believe it or not, we would carry like empty gallon jugs to the parade, and we would run to the back of the dock, jump overboard, pull those jugs up, and tie them where the costume, if it bowing too forward, we would put the water jugs, tie them up to the back. If it leaning to the right, we would put the water jugs to the left. And trust me, Mr. Doyle Burris helped me get those costumes around Bay Street with all of them salt water and tons of gallons under those costumes back then. So, hats off to him. We won a lot. Best music, best costume. I had thousands of young fellas believe in me. Hundreds of them, hundreds. After winning so much, I say it's time for me to give back something to the country. Let's go beat Diwali. So me and Kerry Ferguson and Gary Roll and Charlie and Jeff Roll and you had Kenneth Walcott, you had Paul Knowles, Les Johnson, all us get together. We left the Wally. All of us was Wally now. Wally was too big. Winning, 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 winning. Wally was too big. And we just wanted to do something. We had a lot of young men in the community, needed jobs, needed help, and keep knocking on my door. And there's nothing much I can do. So I say, listen, I asked Mr. Late Gus Cooper, how could we help some of these guys get jobs? So he reached out to his ministry back then. I think Mr. Pat was down at the sports center. He was in charge of the sports center. Mr. Doyle Burris was in charge of the sports center. Back then, the PLP was in power. Gus asked the late Perry Christie for some job, and you will see these things. It just dropped on our shoulders to find all these young jobs during that time. Who did believe? And that wasn't happening the way it ought to happen. They keep knocking on my wife's door, my house, and the yard is full of young men. Then you start seeing young women joining. So I say we have to do something. And that's when we go away and we form Roots. Form Roots right here in the yard, right here in this yard. And Kevin them put it at the forefront, but I'm the leader. Because I got the beat, drum, and bass score, so I know I didn't make you a leader. But anyway, they pushed me as a leader. And I'm going to tell you one thing, Mr. Bosley Butler, he was one of my waiter. Call him Drill. He right now rush for one family. He is the one who pushed me to be a leader. He get me from the back of that line and the Wally boy tell me, go in the front, go in the front. I say, no, I just come to the Wally. Go in the front. So he would push me. And then I say, man, I meet all the P and Mark and Ben them here. And these fellas them from Thompson Lane. And you know, they some rough fellas, East Street there, or Blue Hill, or Wood Road. I can't go in the front, man. And war starts, I mean. Hey, these niggas, you just come from the Saxons, but in the front. So what I had to do, I had to go get Gary Roll. Everybody know Bijou. That's my big brother. I had to go get Bijou from the music mates. I go and get my dump truck and fill it up with some fellas. And I say, let me show you all, fellas. When we head to the sports center, when they bring all that dump truck fellas, all Gus do is full arm and shake his head. Say, yeah, this a leader for true. And you show me you know how to beat the drum like nobody's business. And paste the costume. So Gus come to me. You're gonna take charge of this group.
After you left and went to Roots, when you left Roots is when you formed Barabus and the Tribe. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, correct. And the only reason I did that is the same thing happened. I mean, so many children come from Baintown, Chippenham, and different places, come Michael Road, and it's the same thing happened. I just get tired of winning. And I said that Junkanoo is more powerful, that we can do something for these young people. So that's when I say that, listen, we're going to do community. We're going to go out there and adopt Stapleton School. We're going to adopt every home. We're going to adopt all the old home. We're going to adopt, and this with Miss Sheila Kalma, the late Sir David Knowles. Thank God for those people.
Right. So
sorry,
actually,
I didn't hear
you
you.
The major persons that started the community outreach in Junkanoo then.
Oh, definitely. And praying in the community, praying before you practice, because what would have happened then? I would have reached young men from all walks of life, all. So we had men who, and back in the day, you know, the country was full of gang rebellions, gun dogs, water boys, sharks, Hoyas dogs, and all that stuff. That was dumb stuff back then. So you had to practice on Christie Park, and in Christie Park, you had so many different gangs. Now, I had a lot of great young men who come from decent, all of us come from decent home. Don't get me wrong. But we had so many great guys that the mothers and fathers say, Barabus, my child got with you, don't let nothing happen in place. Which in I know, I say, I got them. I have young men from C.V. Bethel School who come all the way in the back here. I had the crew from Fox Hill would have drive every Wednesday and Friday night down in the back here. I had people from Gambia, deep in Carmichael Road. So my group was a fairly young group. And what I did, some of the senior guys of those gangs, I reach out to them to help them to curb the gang and to break it up. And it worked, Charmy. It worked because I worked Inspector Nixon with the gun unit. I worked with a couple of the CIDs and police officers in the community and let them know, listen, I need you all to come on the path. While we practicing, you have so many different little groups of pocket of fellas who negative. We need them to be police and little protection. So automatically it worked after a while in our favor because we was able to bring them together, broke them up, and they did positive stuff. And I know some of them right now tuning in into me. I mean, out of all of them, I'm not gonna call names, right? I mean, I only lost two, two, two young men who come up under me in Fox Hill prison. Out of all of them, we just had Father's Day here the other, and a lot got promoted on the police force, on the defense force. I mean, they came here to surprise me. Some of them, not all, some of them got together and came to surprise me to take a Father's Day photo with me. I'll knew that later. And saying, thank you, Daddy, for being there for me. And that was the greatest gift I could ever ask for Father's Day. I'll send you some of those photos later on and you can share them later. But it's unbelievable. But those men who I'm talking about right now, they made me, Charmaine, because it was my idea to go to church service every Sunday with them, to go into the homes, to do Christmas. We used to do Christmas caroling during Christmas time. We would have had Bernard Sherman, who just mother just passed. He did a great job with the youth band in Bintan, but we struggled with funds. But he still have those young children near his heart. We lose a lot, mind you, still. Because if you can't keep them focused, they're gonna get into mischief. And we lose some, by the way, young children ain't reached 20 yet, which we could have helped if we had help or continued to have help. Most of that burden was on myself, helping in the community. I'm gonna tell you now, back in the day, you have people like 90 Nose will help you. Pedro down and Ben will help you. You'll have Ben them. You'll have the brothers, the big brothers in the hood would have had these little houses and you know what I'm saying, and the police them would harass them for the houses and things. But they would put monies back in the community for basketball tournaments, softball tournaments, baseball tournaments, the Junkanoo, Boys Brigade. And they're the guys who will put money back and keep the country balanced back in the day. Right now, we don't have no one. All of these businesses who've been around for thousands, hundreds of years in this country, doing what 90 Those used to do back then. If they would do that, help us in the community who are community-minded persons, put little something back behind us. Show me how to put all of my money, not all, but most of my money back into the community. Most of it. I can't live a lavish life, but thank God the way I live in it. God is good. I have a lot of friends around the world who invite me to, and right here home, I will support me in what I do. Most of them come from the hood. Ali from the bamboo shop. She helped me back in the day. You had Mr. Gilbert from South Beach. He helped. You know, some people will continue to have the young brothers like us who doing things, but it's real hard. Um, but most of the politicians, they come with a agenda. Most of them, or they see you with numbers and they come throw a bone at you and think they got you on a collar. You understand, and that ain't your cousin, as you understand. So you all keep that. So these are the reason why I don't get those kind of help, because when you don't throw no bone at me and think you own me to go all around the place with you. No. We put you there for you to help us in this country. And that's why you don't see get a lot of assistance from governments because I'm not a yes person. I'm going to do things that I think is right for my Bahamian people and my community. And I hope people understand that. A lot of people know me by now. So I'm not going to bribery under the table. I'm not going to take it under the table. Put it across the table, call a spade, and if it has to be shared, let's share it equally, or let's share it the way it ought to be shared. And that's me.
So, Papa, you have a question?
Yeah, yeah, I do. Robbie, what influenced you to start your museum, and how did you actually get it started? Because a lot of people, I mean, most people know you have a
I can't hear you,
museum.
paparazzi.
Oh, sorry about that. I was saying, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, Robbie? Hello? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. I was asking,
Yeah.
what was your motivation to start your own Junkanoo Museum, and how did you actually get it started?
Well, guess what? I did Bahama Nights downtown years. I had a crew of Steve Bellot, Cass, Fano, a couple of us. We wanted to do a festival down. I invited all the groups to join me. They Colors came up one night, did a performance. And then I in tourism, they beat down. They didn't support me, So what I did, I went to BC, paid to get some lights downtown, and I went to the commissioner during that time, asking for permission to close the back of the market. And I travel a lot, paparazzi. A lot of tourists come and hail me, and in our little crease up shack, with our little shacks in the yard. So Angelique and I, we did Bahama Nights, and it was awesome. And then where I travel so much, all the Caribbean, all in the every state in the United States with Buffett. I played for so many stars around the world, halftime show, Miami Dolphin, basketball. And when the tourists come here, they want to see something. So where we've been going to Georgia now for the last 18 years, they say, man, Barabus, I can hail you. I come to hail you. And when they come to hail me, it's just one little something in the shack, nothing to offer. So I say, boy, this could help us. And by me doing that, start to continue to come up with ideas and keep coming up with ideas and building this and building that and building this and saving costume, going downtown, right? When the boys don't throw costume on. And then what I would have done, I would pay the boys and when they carry the costume dump, I say, dump it here in my yard. So then that came, instead of throwing the costume, that's what I did. And then I recycled the costume and then I saw that working. So what I did, I said, all right, now I need a little gift. So I had a little small corner, some little drums, little souvenir shakes, and I see that working. And then I invited all the tour companies down when they sandals and different else they came down, they liked the idea. Most of them didn't bite, but Majestic thought, and that helped me, encourage me on the next level. And then for the last couple of years, with Miss Pauline, the Jeep Adventure Tour, they give me a minute. All right, God be with them. But and it just seems every time it's Savannah, people say we coming to see you. We play for over nearly 1 million people. We play at the crab shop every evening, 3-4 times a day, and people come. Where could we find you? Oh, we come into the Bahamas. We come into the Bahamas. So we're carrying fellas from the Saxons, Bali, Eleuthera, Harbor Island, Freeport, Abaco. I carry everybody. Then the groups in Miami, all of them, everybody start joining me. So, and then they keep selling, man, y'all got the Paper Roberts visit. Then over there, we on national television and news channels, and it just got big beyond me. It bit me. So all the boys don't appreciate it, and they start selling it. When I look, every time I see tourists walking here and all, and catching the jitney here, um, so you know what, and they just keep growing and growing and growing. And the gentleman by the name of Mr. Jack Flanagan, he encouraged me a lot. He owns the Crab Shack, who take us over there, hats off to him. Um, every year he will take Junkanoo to St. Patrick Day Festival for the last 18 years. Thank God. We went and played for his birthday 1 year, 18 years ago, and he keep asking us to come and he keep inviting us. And the St. Patrick's Committee organization keep inviting us. We keep writing letters to different prime ministers and tourism boards and whoever here to support us, and they don't do what they're supposed to do. So we continue to do what we do. All right. And and like I call a spade a spade. We promote this country. Um, we on magazine covers, have our own holiday in the United States of America in Savannah, Georgia. We have the key for the city, Tybee Island. We are deputy sheriff of Chatham County. And all of these great things. If you go on Advisor, you'll see all the great stuff over there. The tourism board over there. We promote that tourism board. That tourism board on Tybee Island say Barabus and the tribe Junkanoo group, which in, like I say, it's my Wally Boy Saxons, everybody join us during that time. But bring more tourists to the island that particular time than any other time. So they appreciate us. They have us on every magazines on the island of Tybee Island. And during the rough times last year, they got together and auction just to twist it a little bit, paparazzi. They auctioned off a Mercedes and a Harley Davidson for me in my name, and I was able to got tremendous amount of cash to help my Bahamian people in Freeport and Abaco, who was devastated by the hurricane. And they will continue to help us as long as be there with the church helping us, the police helping us over there. So, you know, we're ambassadors, and we can continue to wait until we get the proper help and people appreciate us here in this Bahama land, what we do. Paparazzi, that's my hats off to you, Charmaine, who, Arlene, those who do their show on Saturday, every Junkanoo, everyone who represents this country, the late Chippy Chipman, late Mr. Jackson Burnside, the late Gus Cooper. You know what? And by me speaking about them, the late, we owe the Bahamian people, listen to me good, we owe those young men, wives, something great. Trust me, for the time they have put into this country, this culture, building us. They build me. It's a lot of time consumed and away from their families, away from their home. They could, right now, I'm speaking to you. I have one daughter the Lord lend me, and my wife, her birthday is today. Happy birthday, my wife, sorry. Hats off to her, beautiful woman being with me from Jump Street, in the trenches with these young people. They love her all the same. My sister-in-law, her birthday just was the other day. My daughter's birthday just 2 days ago. My grandmother, who has she would have been 107. She passed at 100. Charmaine, 101. She was a couple of days from 102. But you know, I stray away a bit. But paparazzi, those people around the world encourage me to continue to press on. Right now, let me share a great story, and I want all Bahamians who love this culture, don't give up. Baby Jade, she born, that's Miss Grandbaby. I want to share this story. I don't mind sharing the story because I asked her when her husband, you know, they have the Lakers, baby Grant, a baby born blind and cleft lip. You saw that story.
Yeah.
When I saw that baby, my heart was full. He was here to visit me, and the baby's on his chest. And I say, sir, could I help to do something for this baby? He said, man, bro, I appreciate it. See, she's gonna be fine. A boy did just the other day. Said she's gonna be fine. I say, but he told me, and I can share the story. People say you don't talk what you do, but you need to talk it because people need it. Because if you don't talk it, and by my staff, I told my staff we ain't taking no more tips. I have a small business upstairs, sell junk food supplies. We're gonna give a portion of every sale come through that door because I want to give that baby $10,000. This that was last year, and all the tourists, paparazzi had enough tourists come through this door, right to junk in the world. And every time they read the condition, they put a tip in the box. And when we rush the tourists through the yard to the gift shop, they put a tip in the next box. And then my staff upstairs say, no, we're not taking a tip. I had a box up there. They put the tip in there. And when we find out what our intake was last year, we was able to, if it wasn't for COVID, I think we stopped at 9,000 plus what we give that family just by through our culture, by giving back. And not only that, we helped so much other people last year with their condition. So I'm just trying to show you how powerful when we work together and we feel this culture, our culture is strong. Our culture is strong. I always say we need to come up with our
I was
own
just gonna
union.
ask you.
We need to come up with our own
Yeah.
policy, and whoever out there can have the mind and the brains to do it, we need to come up with our own insurance. $1, $2 from Junkanose paid into your group. Let's set up something. Dr. Slimy dead, Gus dead, Jackson gone. You know, if all of us was putting $1 a week or $5 for, I've been in Junkanoo now 50 odd years. For 50 odd years, but every day or every week out there putting $1 or $2. You know what kind of money I would have done investing myself in a policy instead of everything going on this country? Look at this kind of time. We would have had our own national insurance, so to speak. We need to think bigger than we thinking now. We need to. Brother, we need to. If you don't like me because you can't beat me pacing, you can't beat me beating the drum, or you can't beat Patsy taking the best picture, the best photo, or if you can't beat Charmaine on broadcasting and going around the islands and keeping Junkanoo alive, if you can't beat the Saxons downtown, or you can't beat we need to come together and win one cause, man. We need to do it. I hope John Canoes will listen to me. We need to come together because when a brother die, instead of us crying and playing, rushing him to the grave, and after that, he leave his family here, who he sacrificed and ducking job and just to finish a costume to go to town and paying thousands of dollars one shoulder piece. And at the end of the day, you get nothing. We need to wake up and support one another.
Our mindset as junglers need to change from the tribalism and try to work towards one common goal of seeking revenue to come in for us, because we have so many talents. And that's one of the things I invite when people come on the show to speak to that effect, because we still have this tribalism at the forefront of our minds and not helping and extending to one another. Everybody's just trying to outdo the other one. We're not getting anything from it. And I always tell a lot of people who tune into us too, we have persons from all around the world watching us. So that tribalism and that, back and forth between one another, it can't work here, because you don't know who's watching us to be able to put our foot in the door one day, might inbox me or Papa or anybody that they see on here for an opportunity to go international.
Correct.
So we have to stop that pattern of thinking. They be transformed by the renewing of your mind. We have to change how we think.
Charmaine,
Robbie,
I'm glad you say that, because I have a small business, right? And so many people take advantage of me because of my business. I had to bring in my son-in-law, my niece, my wife, and I had to move away from that because people take advantage of me. And just because they walk in there and they see so much glitter or beads. Charmaine, if it wasn't for I can call them friends from around the world, China, United States of America, people who believe in me will give me stuff up front. And they say, with Barabus, I like what you're doing. They will send me feathers, they will send me beads, they will send me contact. I could call some of the companies and they still be today. But people come here and take advantage of it, won't pay their bill. And you ain't supposed to do those kind of. We're supposed to help one another. If you don't strengthen me, I can't strengthen you. I can't help the other person. I have to pay those people still when you don't come and pay junk in the world. All right? Every B group, listen to me good. If it's 16 B group there, I help at least 14 get the Bay Street by just giving them things, giving them contact, giving them crate paper. All the Family Island groups, I help a lot of them by pulling them same rods and stuff off Bay Street instead of getting it up. I send them to the Family Island. So we need this, and that's what's in our culture. So what you throwing away, I pick up. I can send to Eleuthera, harness. I send more harness to Eleuthera and other things that what we think we don't use no more. I send them, I pick them up out the dump. Me and Cooper, when our chairman, and my team, and Cecil and Darren, and even my American boy in the States, I can't remember his name right now, but he laugh at me if you're watching this show. He support me 100% in Georgia. But we go in the dump and we get this stuff and bring them to the yard and then we ship them out. Send them all about to Miami to our other boys and brothers and sisters in Miami. Langston, them, Bahama Jungle Review, hats off to all of them who in this country justice and can't get the right support. Listen, and I talking about right support. Listen, whoever we represent, PLP, FNM, DNA, whoever, if these people ain't for us, I hope you all wake up because there's so many people in this country alive with the Bahamian flag and we ain't getting support. We ain't getting support. We're not getting support. Wake up. Wake up, people. Stop this FNM and PLP and my daddy this and that. But this life is real. I hope we see how real life is today. Today is real. This COVID showing us how real this is.
COVID showing us who the real people are in your life today.
Exactly.
That's what this COVID.
So many people can't eat out there. And every time I jump in my car, I say, Shamin, if I get $20, I can share that. I coming home with nothing because I could survive. Let me tell you why I could survive. I have a great family backing behind me. All you all, listen, we don't play. Shamin, you know how we. If I hungry, Boo, George, you, Gary, Bull, my wife, my mommy, we can eat, we can share. And a lot of family ain't like us. I can tell you. We together. We together. We can share water, we can share bread, and we can make it look like we have a lot with little.
Robbie, let me ask you a real quick
brother.
question. You touched on this for a second about the power of Junkanoo, how he was able to travel all around the world. Speak to that specifically. What is the power of Junkanoo through your eyes? What you've been through and what you've seen. I know you've talked about the Miami Dolphins and the sporting trips and all these other stuff at Tybee Island. I think the name you try to remember was Trevor Ferguson in off of Georgia.
Yeah. Trevor could beat me. That's my brother.
My boy. But speak to the power of Junkanoo. How
right.
powerful
Thank you.
Junkanoo is. Can you speak to that for a second, please?
Okay. Paparazzi, I'm glad you said that. Listen to me. For the last 30 odd years, I performed and many young men behind me to the disabled children, stapled in school, children who in bed, who paralyzed, who probably ain't seen nothing else but the roof because they can't come out, they can't move, bedridden from their born. This is the true power of Junkanoo. When we go to perform for them and their smile on their face and their parents say, that's the first time, I won't cry right now. And the first time my child smiled, that's the power. of Junkanoo. I made someone smile, or we did, made a child smile who never ever smiled, made them move in their bed with the little motion or energy they have in their bed. That's the power of Junkanoo. Bringing people together from different walks of life, lawyers, preachers, teachers, community, young men and women who've been doing negative stuff, positive stuff, bringing them together in the camp under one umbrella, getting ready to go for competition. The competition is only the end result. But when you could bring a brother from Camp Road, Soldier Road, East Street, Farrington Road, Michael Road, under one roof, under one practice, you understand what I'm saying? Bringing the people together. When paparazzi, when one died, you got everybody from every group going to the funeral to perform. That's the power of Junkanoo. Downtown is a joke. That is the power of Junkanoo. When people want you, pay you to come to their country to perform for them, that's the power of Junkanoo. And by me speaking today, I have a special autistic child. His mother just told me, boy, this child miss you so much. This child miss you so much. You know what I have to do on Tuesday and Thursday at 10:30? I have to set up like how I said now, Shamir, and play my drum for that child. To put smile on that child's face as an autistic child. That's the power of Junkanoo. So Junkanoo is powerful, keeping us connected, like right now. Because if it wasn't for Junkanoo, paparazzi wouldn't be talking to you under this Shaman, and Shaman, you wouldn't be reaching out to the world. You reaching out to the world. That's the power of Junkanoo. Man, that's a good question, man. You bring tears to my eyes trust me, by me talking to you, by you that question, I picturing with Sir David knows, and for the love of Jesus, I don't know who or took from him, but from he died, Shaman, we was able to raise, and y'all with me, we was able to raise enough money to distribute over 1,800 wheelchairs came out of his mouth through this country. That's the power of Junkanoo. By rushing once a year under his organization, the disabled organization, from Fort Charlotte, Bay Street, back to the straw market, back to Fort Charlotte with jugs and turn it over to him. And that's only his organization. That ain't the late Mr. Jim from the straw market. That ain't the late Jim and Sheila Kalma organization. Because we do the same thing, both of the disabled organization. And then when you go into the homes of the elderly folks and you play for those people in the home, bringing Christmas carols and stuff to them, and all the Smokey Robinson in the home and things, when we go to them and feed them, that's the power of Junkanoo. Man, listen, this is so powerful. You all got my heart full, you all got my eyes full. And I love this culture. And the competition is one, but the power of the people, this culture is different.
Well, Barabus, I'd just like to let you know that a lot of persons are commenting on how you were the father for them in Junkanoo, and you know, you're their idol, and they learned their first drumming in your yard and your first sewing. And we have Noel talking about Abaco and Junior from Platinum Nights in Freeport, and Dad and all the rest of them talking about how, you know, you were their strong back. And then all these people commenting underneath the post on Facebook, you know. And so, you know, you may not feel it, but you've touched a lot of persons' lives. And especially your community effort, like you say, with outreach, you bring joy. And like you say, Junkanoo is a spirit. So it's a spirit that's transferred from one person to the next. Notice when we rush, and that's one of the reasons why we can't really rush now because of this COVID, because we touchy-feely when it comes to Junkanoo. It's a spirit. It's a spirit that brings joy no matter what is going on. That's why when they called me today at the last minute, and told me, say, you know, these children in South Beach rushing. I missed it last week. I tell them, scrap inbox me, say, Charmaine, these children rushing today. I say, buddy, my show 8 o'clock, but I coming.
I mean,
I coming.
you right. The spirit, as you like, even though we're not Russian, that spirit hit me by the question paparazzi asked me. That's Junkanoo. What it, you know, that hit me because on all of those young men who just called, a lot of them experienced. I took most young men and women of this country as ambassador around the world, and they see the other side of junk, the business side of it. Me take that spirit around the world. That spirit is so serious. By just talking to you and talking to paparazzi and hearing, it's a spirit right now. I feel it. And my legs could be buckling right now. I'm one of the strongest voices because the spirit in me is a spirit in me right now. I'm speaking from my heart.
One of the things I noticed, Robbie, and I wanted to talk to the fact of, I know a few years ago, I went to they had something at pop-up studio. They had spaces, and we were talking to some of the young persons there, and a lot of the young people now don't seem to be involved in Junkanoo like when we were growing up. How do you speak to that? And how do we get their focus back to like how we, because we know it's so much technology now, everybody just will be in one place with now Junkanoo. How do we speak to that?
Okay. And this where the big groups need support because a lot of the big groups, the community, the young children hang out with them. All of Phil from Soldier Road, travel them from Camp Fox Hill Congos. You have Pumpkin from Camp Road. Henry Higgins there. See if you I visit these fellas from time to time. They have a lot of young children all year in their camp. But the same as how the money comes out of our pocket, right here, it comes out of their pocket. The children hanging around, beating the drum, pacing the costume in the camp. They taking children. They need more support. I think they need stipend every year for their community to keep their culture alive, to keep the children close to them. Their doors never close. Their doors never ever close.
Listen, you're in live
when Wally and Saxons and One Family and Roots doors close, the B group doors never ever close in the community. And they're the ones to keep this alive, to keep the spirit alive. The schools visiting camps. Shami and I had so many school. Oh, I nearly missed them out. All the school children would visit here. Sorry. A portion of that went to helping out Baby Jaddy in the community as well. We had so many school visitors and they paid for a field trip, hands-on experience. A portion of that went back into the community as well. So by school tours and field trips and so forth, keeping spirit alive. All the Life with Key schools, all kinds of schools come down here, visit us here at Junkanoo World. And that's the way to keep the culture alive as well. The junior Junkanoo, they come learn face how to make drums, how to clean goat skin here, how to head the goat skin here, how to build costume, how to make drums. So you're keeping that spirit alive. It is real. So hats off to all of the schools would visit here at field trips and visit other Junkanoo camps at field trips. So that's how we got to keep it alive, man. That's how. And by what y'all doing today, keep reaching out to the person who need to reach out to, because a lot of people in this culture don't get the opportunity to speak or to share their talent. And I'm glad you talk about Junior those in Freeport, and J those them in Freeport with doing such a tremendous job. You know, they're keeping that spirit alive and the culture alive.
One of my things I always try to show to most of the islands, and I try to contact persons there. And once they tell me or they want me to come, I try to make the trip, because Island Junkanoo is so much different from Nassau Junkanoo, but it's more authentic, real Junkanoo to me. because they stick to the basic.
And by you saying that it's good, sharing after we finish performing here. I have a friend who's disabled in Eleuthera. He gave them hell. Lincoln, he's disabled. He have a group in Eleuthera. He's give them hell in Eleuthera, and he's a disabled guy. He leads a group of. I guarantee you probably tuning in right, but those guys, I go and visit those Junkanoo after. I'm glad it's be like not on Boxing Day or New Year's. So I will take a trip over and sit on the bleachers. Don't ask me to judge, do nothing. I would get my little calic or my cigar, my comforters or whatever they cook over there and enjoy the Junkanoo. Now, when the spirit hit me after that, I'll jump over the railing and enjoy one scrap. But on the islands, it is different. Charmaine, I would encourage everybody to go and visit those groups and support them on the islands. You will love it.
Yeah, Junkanoo on the island is definitely different. Robbie, you also are a manufacturer of both cowbells and drums, and probably some other instruments in Junkanoo too. I don't know if you want to get into that a little bit, your manufacturing side of it, how you got into it.
I can.
And go ahead.
Well, tell us about your whole farm you got there in Junkanoo World, because you got.
Well, I know that.
Yeah, the peacock, the goat. Well, I know my boys gonna laugh now because I'm back in the day. I went to Jamaica for many years getting goat skin. Julian Gomez, he took me in Jamaica, and I used to get a lot of goat skin in Jamaica. And when I see the kind of money I spend in Jamaica every year, thousands of dollars bringing in goat skin. And then Joey, the late Joey, he used to work Bahamas. He passed. He has an accident on the airport road. I took him with me one year, and he logged home this cow skin. And Deuce from the Wally Boys, I'll always remember this little drum. You know Timmy, who used to ride race bicycle. Timmy is a very good drummer. His daddy, two of them was good drummers in the Wally back then. This thick skin, and Deuce will never tell me what this skin is, but that drum was talking. That drum had everything, the rhythm, the bass, and not tell about 15 years later, maybe 10, 15 years later, when Joey brought home this cow skin, I realized what kind of skin that was. And Joey put it on a big 55-gallon drum. And that little bony boy took that drum, and we had different music. And Joey is the one who had a cow skin drum. And then Brad Oden, me, Brad, and Paul with a head drum for many years in the yard. We would have been in the little lard can and pink and with the little plastic on it. And then watch the late John Chippy one right below. My grandmother upstairs, and if I sit on the porch and look down on Blue Road, Chippy heading drum, Chippy making drum. So I would go downstairs and watch Chippy scrape that drum and make them drum. And then I get into making drums. I bought my first drum from Chippy and the second one from Lord Frog, because the music makers had some drums, buddy. They had music. And when I watch these fellas make this drum and I come home, coming from H.O. Nash School, H.O. Nash, I would head to the abattoir, and me and Brian would go through the bush, and they would hang these goat skin on the tree after they finish killing the animals. They're on Fighting Road. So what we would have done, we'll steal them. We'll yuck them and run. So then come home and make drums. They always used to run us. So that's how we get. But it caught up with me later on because Chippy Chipman, after I buy all of my drums from Jamaica, and Chippy couldn't find no skin around here, he will come and steal my skins. And boy, you get caught a couple times. I say, Lord, I get a couple drums and to make. And I thought it would have been one of the boys them from the Wally. So I tracked the trail of the lime going on the yard. Then I go on through Lifeboy Street, see the lime going in the yard. But that's Papa. Couldn't do nothing with Papa. So Papa could have come and get goat skin, sheep skin, get barrels. I couldn't do nothing with Papa. A sweet old soul. A sweet soul. So anytime the children see Chippy coming and they know I get drummed ahead, they running and telling me, Chippy coming, Chippy coming. So I could come on and say, all right, Papa, you carry 8 skin, you can carry 2. because I get drums to head. But heading drums, back then, it got to be a lucrative business. It was so lucrative because everybody do want to get their hands dirty. They ain't want to smell stink. And then I started to get the animal, different parts of the animal, and come home and boil a pot. I ain't got to call all the parts. Y'all can put your mind, think what that is. And I boil a pot, all the cow skin. I get this from Jamaicans. And that's why you seeing bull them are so strong. That's why I see them eat it over there. And I come home and eat it here. And I had a crew of fellas, I used to call them the cast crew. And then I had another crew called the donkey crew. All that is the same word, but hey. And so some people don't like him to call them jackass, all this stuff, the donkey crew. If they tuning in now and they laughing, strong music. They will come and head drum and we eat the meat, we eat the skin. Y'all don't know about eating the skin, eh? We eat the cow skin, we eat the goat skin, we eat the sheep skin, we eat that. I boil that in the pot along with other parts of the goat and cow. And that's how I get like a bull, strong. Today, right to this day, you can't crump me in certain parts. You hit me, your hand can bounce off. Little strong cow, I'm a little bull. All right. But heading those drums and eating the parts of the cow and the goat and the huff and the nose and the ears. Think about what I'm saying.
Well, Robbie.
So I'll tell the boys them this steak. That ain't no steak. That ain't no steak. And I ain't telling y'all what it is. But my boys were so strong. Young boys in them drums. Then we heading the drum and we selling the drum. I get all the Mark and great one them into heading drum. Mark he was the leading the Wally, great one. Then I get in all the Sean those into head drums. So I would have now taught them and give them a percentage. So they would make $300-400 a week. Easy, just off drums. Then Tony Bellot would make the cowbells. And he isn't doing very well today, but me and my boys putting together a pitch for a couple of them right now to pay them a visit under this condition. Tony Bellot would make the bells, and then he would call us, Robbie, bend this, cut this. So he'll show me how to cut the bell and how to bend them. Then I have some young boys them from under the tree, Rasta, Cecil. So Cecil was good at welding from a young boy. So he will come and start I could do that. So he will make bells. Right now, Cecil just made at least about nearly 700 pairs of baby souvenir bells for the tourists. I think it's more than that. It could be close to 1,000. But the pandemic, we made bells out of scrap metal or the bucket. You see the little bucket you throw it away? The 5-gallon bucket? We have souvenir bells right now. So we ain't buying them from China no more. No bells from China. So I want the government to listen to me. All the money spent in China with them black bells and things. You have young men who just been to BTVI who in this yard making a living just off bells alone, welding. So and that's it's a lucrative business, but the bottom line is we share it. We share the knowledge. So the boy in Fox Hill could go home and make his drum, could make his bell. The one on the islands, they could make their drum now. Because we used to ship a lot of drums to the islands. So what I tell them, listen, y'all, I will come and teach y'all on the farm islands how to make these stuff. This business is so big, Charmaine and Paparazzi. I jump on the plane free of charge and go into schools and different islands and teach them, give them a little workshop, a little seminar, letting them know about our culture, how powerful it is. And they don't have to pay me. All they do is buy my ticket, get me there. If they want me to stay overnight, put me up. Don't pay me. I teaching this free.
Well, Robbie.
All right. And then sometime I tell my wife if I overnight do, I say,
Robbie,
honey, you better come.
That's one of the
come and be a part of this.
To the islands. If they want me to come, I'm not asking you to pay me when I get there. Once you get me a ticket and you get me there, I can make sure the world knows about you. Because I have to get this thing out there. I have to make sure that the culture keeps alive. You know, that's one of the things that I tell
And by
people.
Shamin, by you say, by you saying that, let me tell you why it's true. Who and I and Mr. Brown, we had a few beers to the table week before last. He say, you just like Shamin. You ain't getting paid for nothing. So that's why it's true. Because who say you just like Shamin? You all do things free, 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 free. I expect to make it. But that's, you know, some things, Shamin, that's a gift God give us. And we utilizing it to our ability.
And see, it's not all about the money either, you know. Of course, you want to get something out of it, but because you get so many different persons that's just helping you and just giving you as you need it, sometimes you need the money, but it's not just all about the money. And one
Exactly.
of the things I want to do, Ravi, you talk about the drum. I don't know if you want to remember this. God rest his soul, your brother Stevie. I know Sandy, when we had the wake in the yard, and we been there all day. I sent you that video too. We
I
been
get
there
that.
all day, and I say drum is something else. And every time I start to leave the yard, Sandy start beating the drum. Every time I go to get up to go, Sandy start beating the drum, and I turn back around and come back again. I say, Sandy, please stop beating this drum. He say, Shami, I say, Sandy, every time you beat the drum calling me back, I need to go home. So every time I try to leave the yard, when Sweet Jungle start up again, I come back in the yard. I say, I ain't gonna reach home till in the morning. But that drum, that sound of that drum.
By you saying, Sandy, he paid me a visit yesterday, and he tell my daughter, see your daddy, see my daddy, hug my daddy. My hand was full. She said, but his hand full. Sandy say, hug me. Every time you get a chance, you hug your daddy and tell him you love him. That's my daddy. And he's the leader of Jungle Backline right now. So many great young men come out of this yard. Sandy is one of a kind. Um, you know, I don't know if you saw the show the other day, my daughter's in the, I said it to you. She was in the competition. I wouldn't want to go ahead to her because she could beat me beating the drum right now. She's
Right.
very good. I don't want to go heads up with her. All the Rico them come with this yard. These great guys. A lot of them come from under our belt, from roots. I mean, what we did and what you did for this culture, paparazzi. You believe you ain't I ain't see you ring no bell or beat no drum or blow no horn. But I guarantee you, what you have done for our culture, you have saved. If you was round back in the day when I was winning this costume, I probably had all my pictures. And that's more, a picture speak 1,000 words. So what you have done for our culture is unbelievable. Continue to do it. You to every funeral, you to different practice, you to any function or older Awaki. Um, listen, hats off to you. I love what you're doing. Some people think probably, hey, you need to ring a bell or beat a drum or blow a horn or piece a costume. I am trying to reach some of those children right now in UWI and the College of the Bahamas. If you all listened earlier what I said, your young brains get together. I don't have to be the one to do it. You all form a company. You don't have to rush. You might have great ideas of how to put these different don't let the rich people come who don't care about us or who don't care about us, but who already have insurance companies and all that. No, we ain't into them. Let's start fresh. Let's start us, Bohemians. Let the money stay in the Bahamas. Everything going on this country. And y'all, let's stand up for our rights. If you ain't gonna fight for it, you can lose it. Let's stand up for our rights. We one set of culture people. Let's stand up for our rights. I love, you know what I love in this country? Let me tell you who I love. I love the Haitians. They stand up. I love the Jamaicans. They stand up. And they're home, you know. They're in our country. I love the Chinese.
Me?
I love the Greek. I love every other, the Africans. But for some reason, my people, you got no heart, no guts. We don't stand up. We need to stand up. Everybody else in our country living better than us. You know why? We pulling one another down. And watch it good. They don't want to be around us because they already see how we treat one another. And I can't blame them. All right? And by saying that, my Haitian brother, Francis, he's sick in bed now for quite some time. And that's why Barabus and the tribe was so strong to build all those big costumes, all the Haitian from off East Street there through Lily the Wiley Corner. You know, if it wasn't for them, they might my crew on Carmichael Road. I had a serious Haitian crew behind me, man. Haitian Bahamian crew, who was strong. One of them now is in bed. What we just did the other day, raised some funds. Look here, some stuff is coming for you all, Francis. In there, we love you. Tony Bellot, you sick in bed, hang in there. We bring some stuff for you. Garrett, you sick in bed, hang in there. We bringing some stuff for you. Van Dyke, I can't find you, but I know you still living. You're sick in bed, but we find you. We got some stuff. All the boys together the other day. Not all, but majority of them. Some still listening. You all bring what you can. Bring it to Daddy, and we make sure your brothers get help. Thank you, Mikey. It's in the base road here. Mikey, he have a little plaza right in the base road, shopping center. You all support Mikey. Mikey, throw a good blow for our boys, them who sick in bed. Listen, man, we have to help one another. So, Charmian, this is the reaching out. So, those brothers who sick in bed, who, you know, we come with some goods. So, y'all hang in there. We can help you all. We can pay a little bill for you all. We can do some stuff. We got you. We got one another.
Well, Robbie, this has been a great conversation. Poppy, have
Come
any,
in, come in. I have one last question for Robbie. One last question, real quick. Robbie, how, I mean, I know it's affected everybody. We spoke on it for a second. How is COVID being really affected your business? I know majority of your business is school children and hotels and resorts. So I mean, that's like 80% of your business or 90% of your business. We could almost say it's 100% of
That's
your
100.
business. Okay.
That's 100%.
Right.
Trust me, it is. Because, you know, I have the Junkanoo shop. We have no Junkanoo.
Right.
I have the museum.
Right.
No more tourists, no school.
No tourists.
I have nothing else.
School children, right.
But I didn't know, and now I realize what the old people say, putting all your eggs in one basket. But I never know just Junkanoo, my culture. It would have affected me like this.
Right.
Because I live Junkanoo, I live culture. Tourists come through, the children from the school come through, you guys come through to pick up stones and feathers for your hat. And that's my business, you know. But like I say, God has been good to me because a lot of my friends from around the world, and I want you all to listen to this, a lot of them, Langston Lonely and a couple other, call one or two others for Hamas Junkanoo Review. When I look, a little check come in the mail, someone bring me some cash. Hey, and guess what? I able to help somebody. Right. I be able to help somebody. It's good. Mr. Flanagan, them from the Crab Shack in Savannah, Georgia, the whole Tybee Island people, everybody concerned about you. Honestly, I telling them, listen, I'm good. You know, I guarantee if I ask them for anything, I get it. When I don't ask, so they still send something to me. But you know, my brother, those they come and support. We hang in. Maybe not making anything affect me 100%, but God has been good to me because I think of what we have been doing for people. Thank God for that. I have people calling me, Barabus, you need anything? Just before the question you asked, I was just getting a cold Guinness for a young man. And I say, man, one of my friends just called me if I need anything. I tell him, no, I don't need it. I'm okay. I live off a lift, which is a lot. And I get a lot of help, paparazzi. Thank you very much. I get from the outside world, because what we do, my boys, them, all the Chippy, them from Bryland, all the Anthony, them, all the boys, them from the different island, by supporting me to Savannah, Georgia. We run across a lot of business people, a lot of people who love us, who all of them have a lot of personal friends when they meet around. People will help them. So thank God for our culture. Thank you very much for that question.
No problem, bro.
Well, see, the good thing about that Robbie, you just reaping what you already sowed. So your pockets ain't gonna never. You just sit back and watch God for what you have already sowed, because He always say, if He can feed the birds and the bees, we ain't nobody. And so you have to constantly remind yourself about that, because a lot of people talk bad about the COVID situation. Yes, it's a dire stress, but this is the chance that God is giving a lot of us to just stand still and know. Be still. Because this
And
COVID
Charmaine, by you saying that, I watched my just the other day. My daughter, she doing the same thing I did in Kentucky the other day when fella was begging, and I was a little busy focusing on doing something else in the drive-through. So my daughter tell the young man, come around, and she give him. And when I give someone $2 and $3, she that can't do nothing. So so I thank God she have a little from me as well to give back and to help people because she gets a lot of help as well by traveling with me, get to know a lot of people. And I think if she stay on the right track and focus, the blessing will continue to flow and our legacy will continue to grow. And I'm proud for that. And my friends from London, Howard Those, and all them, I have a lot of friends from around the world. Paparazzi, I have a lot of friends from around the world. And I think by what you all do today, a lot of them tune in. And guess what? A lot of guests who've been here, I want people to go on TripAdvisor, read up on Junk in the World, see what we've been doing, see how great Junk in the World been doing in this country, as building this country. Go on TripAdvisor, Junk in the World, Google that, read up on it, and you'll see more of the people speak about us here in the Bahamas. So, I mean, I so glad I had the opportunity. And there's a lot of things I didn't share, but you guys said some good questions. We touched on great people, and we continue to do it. Now, before we leave, Shine, Mr. Boo Roll, like I say, gonna partner with me and lighten up this place for the Bahamian people and the visitors in this country. We're gonna give the Bahamas Christmas. You know we can't go downtown, so we bring in downtown to us, and we're gonna have the prettiest wonderland at Junkanoo. Anybody who out there willing to help us, some lights, drop cord, some Christmas decoration, little manpower. We want to give the Bahamian people a wow feeling. I want when you drive past, the child to say, "Oh, mommy, look at Christmas." Because a lot of us right now in darkness. We are in darkness. So, Shaman, we got to continue to do God's, and Christmas is about God. We want to give God thanks. Um, we want to light up this world, the light of this world. Um, Even though under this rough times, we want people to partner with us. Even if you send one $50 BPL to help us pay the bill, but we, Shamin, and you're gonna spearhead because anything we do on this place, you're gonna spearhead this. What we give you in another couple of months, paparazzi, you yourself as a team, you will be here. What we have for this country in another couple of months to put smiles on children's faces and to light up this country, it's unbelievable. We just hope to stay safe, live to see that day, and we're gonna show people we're gonna bring Jungle over the hill. We're gonna bring Christmas over the hill to the Bahamian people. So we want people to just drive by and enjoy themselves during December. All right.
Sounds like.
Thank you so much.
But Cause I thank you so much for this conversation tonight. It's been so informative. And we've asked a lot of persons, if you're watching, go ahead and share this video because we want the world to know that even though we may not be on day, but John Canoe lives within our hearts. We like to see persons like Barabus reaching out to community and helping persons and, making sure this thing, John Canoe is just not Bay Street. Like the theme that Genesis always say, John Canoe is bigger than Bay. John Canoe lives in us and walks lives in us. It's very bigger than Bay. So we have to continue on that path.
You and paparazzi, anytime. Anytime y'all want to use this facility, it's available free of charge for you guys. Anytime y'all want to use the facility. So, feel free anytime.
What we probably can do is we probably can come there and do a show. Invite
anytime.
some, a special for the Junkanoo Museum, and we congratulate you on being one of FIE's Junkanoo Rush legends of our time, because you surely are a legend in your time. So that's one of the things that when we were talking about it, I'd say Robbie is Junkanoo from the top of his head to the tip of his feet, and you live it,
all my
you
life.
speak it, you live 5 days a year. And that's why.
And you know, my wife and I been together for 40. We've been together for 39 years. And her birthday today. So you see how important John Canoe, right? So they up there with the little small little cake and candy and champagne, and I down here with John Canoe.
I can let you go. Like I say, she know this family blood because when I called, she answered the phone. She said, "Well, Charmaine, he getting ready now. I even had to open my mouth."
Yeah. Well, you know how we go. We love one another. We can support one another. We only a phone call away, and we want the Bahamian people to continue to live like us, man. Just share love. We share love with we share with our community, our people. Whether if you here, you live here, you ain't from here. All my neighbors is Jamaicans, Haitian, African, and we love one another. And this in the community, all of my people who work in my community, we love one another. So that's how we have to live in this country, and we have to continue to build this country together.
Well, I think from the Indians bloodline and from the Indians being indebted in depth and planted in Farrington Road, we were some of the first there. So
definitely
that yard and that area.
That's right.
That's the plantation.
That's right. All right, Charmaine. Thank you very much. You know,
my love, I haven't seen her for a while, but you know, this COVID keeping us apart. But of course, everybody's only a phone call away. So I'd like to thank you again, and to my co-host, Mr. Paparazzi, and my producer, Miss Brighton, Boo, daughter, Roll. That's another cousin here.
Oh, I heard a lot about her. I heard a lot about her. Tell her continue to do great things.
Brighton, can you hear your cousin? I guess she probably stepped away. But folks, it's been a great night, and thank you for the conversation. Papa, we'll talk again pretty soon. And if something else come up, man, Robbie, I got these little children. I tell you, they have me rushing. They could be calling me, and I tell them as long as I free, I come in.
Well, anyhow, what I'm gonna do, I can give you some instruments you could give away, some drum stuff on the show.
Excellent. I could take.
I don't mean John Canoe.
You have one little boy there was on the video today. Man, listen, he was Russian, and he's 2 years old, Barabus. This little boy was Russian John Canoe in his mind. I've never seen nothing like that. And he was Russian and singing in his mind in Russian. He's 2 years old.
I have a few of those around here too.
And I told his mother, she said, be quiet. I say, no, don't tell him be quiet. I say, let him rush in his mind. I can tape him, let him rush, let him do what he wants to do. I say, that's the spirit. Let him do what he wants to do. Because a lot of people will say,
what I'm going to do for you, Charmaine, what I'm going to do for you, I'm going to give you some Ramson Cabell. So when you go on your venture again, you can give some to the children on behalf of us.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
All right.
Thank you so much. Be safe. And we'll talk, Robbie.
Love you guys.
All right, good night.
Bye.
All right, good night.